Hey, what is up, everybody? Scorephobe coming at an unusual time. The first time I've ever come to you at this time, as a matter of fact. You could call it late Saturday, or you could call it early Sunday. In a way, it's both. But tonight I'm doing A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984, the immortal classic. Robert Englund, Heather Langenkamp, John Saxon, absolutely awesome. I haven't talked a lot about A Nightmare on Elm Street. Matter of fact, I haven't really talked to you about at all, except for maybe the last week or so. I've been discussing a project that I'm getting ready to do, and which is called the day. Let's see, the day Freddy became the nightmare. Basically, what it's going to be is it's going to be just a short little thing where I'm, a few minutes, 15, 20 minutes, where I'm just going to discuss the day he decided to go from fantasy to reality. That's right, pre-burned up Freddy when he was still alive, when he was just a sick, child-killing serial killer. That's what I'm working on right now. That'll be out really soon. Also, as you've seen right there, coming next month, I will be ready to give to the world my very first storytelling, I don't know, content or whatever you want to call it. But so I'm really proud of the part one. It's going to be part one of the What If Laurie Strode Hadn't Survived Halloween 1978. And part one is going to be called, you seen it? Did I know? Did I know? It was the Boogeyman. That's going to be part one. There's gonna be two more parts to that. I'm basically making my own. I'm changing the ending up a little bit, altering it to where it's going to go with where she doesn't survive it, and there's going to be a part two and a part three, which is basically going to be a Halloween sequel. It's going to be my own Halloween too. No brother sister thing. No Halloween 2018. No H2O. It's going to be Goraphobe 1.0. So anyway, tonight a watch along slash live commentary. You know how I am. The immortal classic. Like I said, Nightmare on Elm Street. Haven't talked much about Nightmare. Just now started talking about Wes Craven. I do love Wes Craven. Absolutely adore Last House on the Left. I like Hills Have Eyes. The first one, second one, it's okay. I like a lot of his stuff. Deadly Friend, I think, has a great charm. Um, he's done a lot of. He did a lot of great things. The original Scream was fantastic. Um, but Nightmare on Elm Street special. I seen this for the first time when I was 12 years old in '85 when it first come to cable after being on the theater. I didn't even know it was on a theater. You know what I mean? I wasn't so much into horror at that particular point in my life. I was cruising around on my 12 speed. I had this Japanese imported. It was called. I don't know if anybody knows anything about old 12 speeds and racing bikes, but it was Japanese imported. It was called an Ishiki Sport. It was black and gold. And I rode it all around, and I had back in the day we had Walkman, and it had a cord to it and all that. You had the headphones. You had to pull down little headphones, and yeah. But that's when I was cruising around listening to the Rocky Four soundtrack, and I decided to listen to radio a little bit. And the very first time I heard the radio trailer for this thing, absolutely scared the shit out of me, man, because it was completely just creepy as fuck. This radio trailer was. That's when I first heard about it. Um, from there, like I said, I didn't get to see the theater because I was too late. When it came on, I remember the very first time I ever seen this thing. I was with my mom and it played on either HBO or Cinemax for the very first time. And we shut off all the lights, we got the popcorn, we was watching. And I remember the first thing that really fucked me up was when he takes his arms and stretches them across. You know what I mean? And you look at it now, a lot of people may criticize where they don't look quite right. You can almost tell like they're being hung on strings or whatever. But I'm telling you, that's what gives it the creepy vibe. That's what makes it completely out of this world. And I think that's the one thing. I do a lot of criticizing the Halloween sequels. Well, I'm going to criticize the Nightmare sequels somewhat too, because it's the only time it really captured that nightmare, man. Really captured that shit. Like for instance, when after he stretches the arms, Tina turns around and starts running, right? And when you can see him, he's real close after running after. He almost looks like, you know what I mean? He almost looks like a little person, like he's real short chasing after her with his arms like this. It's just creepy shit like that they never did again. that's one thing when I story tell, I'm gonna try to keep that type of shit. If I can get it right the first time, I'm gonna try to keep getting it right. I'm gonna try to introduce new little things that don't work. You know what I mean? Let's see what we got here. Ninja, what's up, Ninja? Thanks for coming through, man. Everybody get a chance, give me a thumbs up, man. Hit that bell so you can find out when I'm doing some new crazy shit. You never know what I'm gonna be doing or when I'm gonna be doing it, as you see. Absolute classic, yes it is, man. Hey, man. Yeah, a bit of a change. Yeah, man. Just just whatever. I am unpredictable. Ask my family. Ask my fiance. Ask my ex-wife. Ask ask my sons. Man, thanks, man. Thanks for coming through. I'm not sure I've seen you here before, but it's nice to meet you. Thank you very much. I'm glad you do because we're getting ready to do, and I will talk. Warning, I do love to talk through these things. I will tell you what I know, what I don't know, what I could know, what I might learn. Wes Craven's New Nightmare has many similarities to the original, including in the opening where Freddy is making his fame. Yeah, that is some of the coolest parts, man. That is some of the coolest parts. Yeah, yeah, I knew what you meant, Fred. New Nightmare. I knew what you meant, man. We all know what you're saying. But if anybody wants to join on this, I'm not sure. I forgot to check. I'm so excited about doing this because I've been in a Freddy mood here lately, as you can tell. Um, um, first, let me tell you how I feel about this franchise. I adore the first one. The OG to me is just like one of the best ever made. It's one thing that puts him in the big three. Because usually to me, the big three is Michael, Jason, and I love the first Chainsaw so much that it's Leatherface. But there's a tie at number three. I got to give it to Fred. I got to put him right. Him and Leatherface are tied at number three to me. Um, well, it bounce around two to three, just depending on how what's going on with Jason at the time. But this movie, the second one grew on me, just like it has a lot of people. I see it at the theater. I seen Dream Warriors at the theater. Um, I did like that one a lot. I wish it, but you know what I mean. But that's the one where he first started making his little cracks, and unfortunately, it got out of control throughout the rest of the sequel. But Dream Warriors kicks ass. I wish if they would have tucked over the money forward, gave it to Patricia Arquette, she could have been in part four, and they could have kept the Dream Warriors going a little bit. I thought that was so stupid dropping that, man. That was money. That was money. There's, you know, if we could make these films, it seems like they'd all be good, man. But something about Hollywood, and you know what I mean. A lot of these people, I think, that have made them and made these sequels, I think, come into Hollywood and came into it with good intention, but either they wasn't allowed to do what they wanted to do, or they got in there, got a little bit of money, and then forgot where they came from, forgot where the originality, and you know what I mean. And when they dive into, I just, I don't know. Hollywood does something to people, man. You look at any, you talk about major bands, talk about actors, you talk about movie makers. Anybody who's been really successful and been around for a long time and has gotten rich or gotten a lot of success, they're no longer hungry. And you know what I mean? And I think that's what affects a lot of projects and a lot of art. When you get money, you're no longer starving. You're no longer hungry for success. It's just it affects your art. It truly does. Hey Hobbs, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming through. Heard she couldn't be in part four because she was pregnant. Well, I didn't hear so much of that. From what I heard was number one, she didn't like the script because I think they had a little bit different of a script to begin with. Like the reason they killed her off and changed the script, killed the character off and changed the script, is because she wasn't going to play it. Because they didn't want to pay her. She wasn't a big name yet. That's about all she had done. You know what I mean? She hadn't done. She hadn't been in TV and all that bullshit. You know what I mean? Medium or whatever it is, and she hadn't done true romance and all that kind of shit yet. So she was still new, and they didn't want to give her the money, even though part three was like the biggest financial at that point, biggest financial success. They were still wanting to pay her bottom of the barrel money, is what I heard. As far as pregnant goes, what's that? A few months, man. With as big as the Dream Warriors got, and as popular as they were at the time, you could wait a few months for somebody to have a baby and pour her over some extra cash. If you ask me. And that is when the franchise decided, New Nightmare is scary. It's got its own thing going, but it's not Freddy that's in this film. It's not the same Freddy. But if anybody wants to check this out with me, let me know. I'll wait a few seconds here for you to get it set up. If you got the physical copy, like I said, I don't know. I don't know where it's streaming free. Probably not. It usually doesn't. I mean, it was on Prime for a little while and this and that, Shutter or whatever. But it usually doesn't go for free a lot, if you notice. Yeah, you can wait for somebody. I mean, well, isn't that funny about pregnancy? Didn't it used to be 9 months? And now the last while now it's 10 months. I think, was it always 10 months? They just didn't know it? Well, I mean, come on. People are having babies for a long time, and you know what I mean? All this time, they don't know whether it was 9 or 10 months you're supposed to be pregnant. Well, if they ask some mothers, I'm sure the mothers could tell them. Stupid fucking people. But you guys need a little bit of time, let me know. If not, I'm gonna start this countdown, get this going. I'm gonna run my mouth and I'm gonna talk about this film because I'm excited. It's 2:30 in the morning and fuck. All right. Stop me. Stop me if you need me to. 5. I'll be giving, of course, timestamps every few minutes like usual. 4. You know I will. 3, because that's what I do. 2, because I like it. 1. I'll go through my collection, NIGHTMARE on Elm Street stuff and all that after the film. This opening part is just so killer, man, because you could smell the place. You could smell it. You can see how dirty it is. You could, this work table. How many times just me in somebody's garage or just whatever you've seen a work table that looked like, of course they have all the knives on it. Hopefully not anyway. But just how dirty it looks. Everything cluttered on. You know what I mean? Wes Craven was really big with certain things, man, like that. He likes to make things as dirty as they could be. Number one. Number two, I love the way Wes Craven has this fascination with survival, man. You know what I mean? And booby traps. Yeah, absolutely. It started all the way back with Last House on the Left. And he's been booby trapping villains ever since. Well, up until his death. Speaking of the death, if you guys seen the beginning of the video, you've seen Leper Kirstie Alley. I was gonna put William Lustig up there because I had heard from somebody's video that William Lustig from Maniac and Blue Underground had passed, but I checked into it and I don't see where it says he's back. So I don't look like a dumbass and put it up there and find out he's still alive, right? Aren't we glad for Wes, man? Wes and his daughter. One for Wes's daughter, we wouldn't have Johnny Depp. Introducing Johnny Depp. Look at the icon this guy has become, man. And Amanda Weiss, remember her from back there at Better Off Dead? Oh my God. John Cusack, where he's got her picture on all of his hangers and shit. And he's completely just in love, and she likes the pretty boy ski instructor guy. That's a hilarious film. And John Saxon, oh, I showed my 15-year-old Tenebrae for the first time the other night. He liked it. Of course, has John Saxon in it. We watched it, and he loves to watch foreign films like that has a lot, foreign speaking. He loves to watch them with their original, like that. Since Argento was Italian, he wanted to watch it Italian, so we watched it Italian, and it just is interesting, And he's talking, John Saxon, as we're seeing it Italian, I was like, man, you should have seen back to Spaghetti Western. John Saxon, that wasn't his first rodeo with um with the Italian film. So Fred, really kind of tricks you into thinking the teen is going to be the main character, just like his pre. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, that was traces way back. Accident. Hey, Johnny, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. And one hell oh my God, man, yeah. This guy played Italians. This guy played Spanish. This guy, you know what I mean? And no one talks about Better Off Dead anymore. Oh, Better Off Dead is fucking hilarious, man. It just kills me. And you know what brought that up, of course, was you know Tina, Amanda Weiss. She, because she's the one that got a picture of all of his hangers. Yeah, you take off a shirt, it's got a picture of her smile face on. He's got her posters. He just that's young John Cusack, man. He was hilarious. $2, $2, and they're all chasing him through the fucking forest and everything else. $2. I think one of the coolest things is me and friends of mine did that shit. You know what I mean? It's kind of dangerous, but you pull up to a light, and the guy next door in the pool and their gloves. Ah, here we go. He's doing his best Howard Cosell, right? And here we go, like a battered former champion trying to regain his, you know. And oh man, me and some friends of mine back in the late '80s, early '90s did that dumb shit too. We pull up there, I'd pull one of those, and we're like, ah, here we are again for another mate. And the dudes next to us, and they knew what we were doing. You know what I mean? We actually fought right into some dudes next to us that knew what the hell we was talking about. And they decided, you know what I mean? Funny shit. And that was really fast. Yeah, I want my $2. Yeah, and then another one, John Cusack, that a lot of people don't really give him a lot of credit for. Say anything. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a chick flick, but it's got a lot of other really good points to it too. I think it's a kick-ass movie. Saying, it's the one where he takes, of course, takes the radio. Holding it up there. It's him and Ione Syke and Perry. What is his name? God damn it! Played the dad in Frasier. Somebody's got to know. God damn it! He passed away just a few years ago. But he played Martin Crane in Frasier. He plays Ione Sykes' dad in Say Anything, and he's great. Remember, he turned out to be a criminal and shit, and he goes to prison. There you go. This Rod Lane guy, man, he starts out as Nick Corey here, but his name is actual. I'm not sure if you spelled right. It's JSU Zoo. Thank, thank you, Fred. Damn, Fred, you're like an encyclopedia, brother. My, my brain's going, man. It just I can't come up with this shit as quick as I did, man. Too much damn. Zoo Garcia, yes. Zoo. Am, am I pronouncing that right? Zoo. 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 See. Oh no. Did you guys see that episode on I got it right here. Oh, it's called Fear Itself. It went around what 10, 15 years ago. It's the collection of it. It looked like one season, and it's got that one episode called The Eater. It makes it a cool. See, oh no, man. That's a cool episode, man. I just wondering if I pronounced his name right. Zoo. That's pronounced. I love how stupid Glenn Depp's parents are in this. You got this, and you can hear. Not only can you hear people getting murdered outside in his supposed, you know, um, living up by the airport cousin phone call, but then you got people screaming and getting murdered, and then you got, and then you can hear click, 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 and you can, the only one thing sounds like click, click, snap, picked out the tape, man. I'm telling you, I've sit there for many years and click, click, snap, click, click, snap, zzz, rewind, zzz, click, click, stop, play. Only one thing sounds like that, and his mom believed that shit is great. Unless she's on her side going, man, I know he's staying out with somebody else. Yes, yes. Only went for one season. It's pretty good. There's also that one, oh my God, Skin and Bones. It has, what's his name? Um, he's been in a lot of Del Toro shit. Fred should know this too. He used to play creatures in the Del Toro movies, but he's in there, remember? And he comes back like Wendigo. Turns out he had to eat his friends or whatever. My son would know his name too. Well, there's some of the newer people I just don't remember. And so, you know what I mean? But then other shit, man, I just, I know it. It's just I have my days where my brain is just like, names are starting to slip me. Film knowledge. Yeah, Dip got this part because of, I'm sure everybody probably knows, but I'll talk about it anyway. Because Craven's daughter thought he was hot, thought he was. He's so you gotta hire him, Dad. Because I guess Wes was thinking, kind of leaning toward he was between Depp and this other guy. I guess he was kind of leaning toward the other guy a little bit. Thought he was just too much of a baby face because Glenn's supposed to be a sport. He's supposed to, you know what I mean, maybe a little bigger, maybe a little rougher around the edges, right? And of course, that's not Depp. That's just not. He just don't look like somebody that you know kick your ass at a football or basketball game. Love how he talks shit to Rod though. I was like, so what's going on here? An orgy or something? And Glenn's like, maybe a funeral, dickhead. So he shows some blood. He's not afraid of Rod. Rod will probably whoop his ass go really badly. Rod's a little more streetwise, a little more, street level. Of course, he didn't even react like he would find him. He just whipped out the switchblade right away. I don't understood this. They're going in there. He snatches up Tina. They go into the bedroom, right? So Glenn, he starts trying to make out with Nancy. And she stops him and goes, no, Rod, not now. We're here for Tina now, not ourselves. If I was Glenn, I'd be like, what the hell you think Tina's doing? You think Tina's worried about whether we're here or not? Hell no. She's busy. I mean, these two wake up the whole goddamn neighborhood. It's like, look, man, what do you mean? I just think she's been cutting off Glenn a lot lately. You know what I mean? Glenn's been getting, Glenn's been like, look, we've been together for a minute, and I think she's just using every little, excuse because she's, afraid because of course Nancy, she's a virgin, right? Or at least it's never talked about, but I assume that's the thing here. She seems awful uncomfortable with the whole and now he's got to lay there on the couch and listen to, howl at the moon, so to speak, morality. So yeah, fuck that. I'm like, look, man, listen to that. Come on. They're not worried about it. You know one bit about worried about no nightmares right at this moment. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The old yes. Suffer the children the sins of the mothers and fathers or something like that. That's the suffer the children thing, yeah. Yep. In not such a direct way, but in a roundabout way, that is true. You know what I mean? What we do affects and, haunts our kids, you know what I mean? And the same thing with our parents and us, It's true, yep. Good point, Fred. You're absolutely right. Suffer the children, yeah. Something within the sins of the mothers and the fathers, yeah. Dinner time. Damn. Enjoy your dinner. Hey, before you take off, what are you eating, man? What are you eating? Fill us in on what the ginger ninja just happened. He says, "Have an awesome stream, mate." I love that accent. I love that accent, ninja. It's absolutely fantastic. I wish I had that fucking accent. It's awesome. My favorite parts of Wolf Creek. He says, I always want to rub it with you cunts. I don't know where you been. No, that's not funny, but oh, you're not gonna tell me what you're eating? Come on. Okay, nothing special. Clearing out the freezer, so whatever's in there. All righty then. In other words, you'll find out when you get to the table. Huh? All right, man. Enjoy. Get a chance, pop back in and say hello, goodbye, or whatever. Have a good one, bro. Another thing, this is really cool, man. The whole wall thing, I thought that was so creative. And it's done with like a, like stretchy material and shit, but you can't tell. You know what I mean? He comes over and he's just getting ready to get her. That's why just they bumped the cross up off the wall. Ooh, fog is awesome. Original fog is also sins the father, ghosts of people who die in shipwreck. Oh yes. Oh man, the fog. I mean, I grew up on the fog. For seen it when I was 7, 8 years old. When it first come out, when it first HBO, I was checking that out. Very good. I got several editions of it here. Getting, I know this. I'm getting the 4K steelbook. I think it's great looking art from Scream Factory. Um, and the Stevie Wayne figure. If they ever decide to send it, has anyone heard anything new about this? When are we supposed to get the Stevie Wayne figure? Damn, come on. See, that's the problem with Scream Factory. If Scream Factory has one big issue, the fact they try to do too much at once. Look, at one time, man, look, within just a few months' time, it was a Howling, and it was Life Force. Now they live, the Fun House and the Fall and the new Halloween, Versa Halloween collection, and it's like, and now you got to figure the Child's Play 1, 2, 3 and the different slip covers, and then the burn up Chucky figure with that. It's like you're gonna do all this shit inside what 4 or 5 months? No wonder the quality suffers sometimes, man. Like we're still coming off the end of this pandemic where people, you know what I mean, shit's still going on. You don't got that many employees. Here it is. Here's a part of my timestamp. Is exactly 16 minutes, and this is when he stretches his arms across the alley. That just fucked me up when I was a kid. I was like, it just screwed me up because I never seen anything like that. He turns around and he's there, and I love when she first around started running up. He stretches his arm. He's running. Am I the only one that thinks that, or did Freddy look like he was much shorter, like he was almost like a little person, like a dwarf or something? Didn't he kind of come up like a real short when he's running behind her when he's real close behind her? And he steps out from the tree, chops his own fingers off, and says, "This is God." He never did anything like that. See, now that's wisecracking, but that's not trying to get a laugh. That's sadistic. That's a sadistic, remarks and shit. That's not, ha ha ha, look how funny I am. I'm enjoying myself tormenting you. There's a difference. It got to where some of his wisecracking, man, was just so cringe, man. He's just like, really? I love how Wes never did that shit. It's funny. Wes went from such weird, just weird out like shit in Last House on the Left with the goofy cops. You know what I mean? And just little shit that people think is stupid, that think ruins the movie. And then he does this, and partly part 3, and then New Nightmare, where he doesn't have any of that type of shit. And it's like Wes Craven. The way I describe Wes Craven, he was a director of extremes. He either did it or he didn't. He either went for it with the dumb shit, or he didn't do no dumb shit. He either went for gore or he didn't. He either went for the hard, gut punch type film, you know what I mean, sexual assaults, or he didn't at all. With Wes, he was either going to get a lot or you weren't going to get any. But one thing he was going to get was good quality one way or another. Wes Craven always, always. Now, a lot of times you have the guts to step outside his comfort zone. You know what I mean? Even delved into, you know what I mean? Even delved into into the, drama and romance, which is, you gotta respect that, man. The part when Donald Thompson, yes, went himself. Why was she there? Yeah. You see, yeah, so I can see it thinks that he's referring to the victim team. Yeah, something I noticed I didn't pick up before. This cop here, the second in charge here, this with John Saxon, Thompson, that's the dude from fucking the Scream shows, man. He was the head cop. He was the head sheriff. I know. Probably everybody probably noticed that except me. I just didn't pay attention to the guy. And somebody tried to tell me, oh, that's the cop from that's the cop from the Killer Clowns. I said, no, that's a completely different guy. I I can see a little bit of the resemblance, but no, that guy's completely different dude. It's not the dude from Killer Clowns. It's not the cop from Killer Clowns. But not everybody thinks like we do. You know what I mean? Not everybody can just pick that out, see that shit. You know what I mean? Because we just, it's just the way our mind works. To some people, like an old friend of mine, best friend for years, 20 some years. I've talked to him in a long time now. He is my best friend for a long time. He always thought somebody looked like somebody else. No matter who it was, he could be the most unique looking person on the planet. But when he's seen him, he looks like my cousin Jim or, whatever. It's cool how all of our brains work differently like that, I think. Ronnie Blakely is the mom. If there's one weak point to this movie, it's some of the acting of Ronnie Blakely. I don't mean to get any hate for that, but it's my opinion. There's a couple of parts in here that is like cringe, like the part when they're at the funeral and she goes there and she goes, I want to get her some help. it's but it's charming and it's part of what makes this great. She does a couple of parts in here that isn't quite as up to snuff as the rest of it. And they talk about what a great stage actress she was. Maybe that's where that drama came from because that was dramatic as fuck. I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna get her some help. It's fantastic. I was in part three when Chris, the light goes off, in the car, in the little Volkswagen, the lights go out. She goes, "What was that?" And she turns, "What was that?" What I mean? It's just, New York featured the actor. Yep, like let's see it. Does it? I've seen that. I have seen that. I didn't notice him in it. Cool. Thanks. Yes, yes, I have seen. One of the beginning trailers of this, I noticed I was watching one of the very first trailers, NIGHTMARE on Elm Street, and there's a part in there where John Saxon, where he says, "Oh God, I can't remember exactly what it is he says," but he talks about a girl, but we got a young girl dead in there, wrapped in plastic, and that's not in the film. So even back then they'd have little parts where they would either make just for the trailer or the little parts they decided to cut out. Which I thought that'd have been a cool line to keep in the movie. Real easy, like your ass. You've been doing it. It's weird. It's the only time you ever see him in uniform, Thompson. It's the only time Donald. It's the only time that you ever see it was right there. Why is he in uniform? One time I remember seeing him in, actually in uniform. Of course, they wanted him for this because of the role that he did in Black Christmas. Because he basically plays the same guy. He's just got a lot more, skeletons in the closet in this, of course. Lynn Shay. First time I ever seen her was on Alone in the Dark. She's that receptionist, and she's playing a receptionist, but she's actually more like a, patient. And she goes, "Can I?" He says, "Can I see?" Dr. Knight. He says, "No, you can't see him." He said, "Well, you just said he was in." He says, "Yes, but you can't see him. He's in, but you can't see him." And he said, "Well, why not?" She says, "Because he's invisible." And he's like, "Oh, yes, exactly. You motherfucker, Fred. Hell yeah, hell yeah." He was locked in a room, went in and came out a body bag. But I was a little more like that when I was younger, about music and movies. You know, nice having you chat, man. Help me out. I remember little shit. It's like I remember. You know what I mean? My knowledge of dumb bullshit used to be just, you know, well, not dumb bullshit. Stuff that doesn't help you in everyday life. You know, used to be unending, but not. Sometimes you guys hadn't noticed. Sometimes I just kind of put things a certain way. Some people don't know how to take me. Some people take me wrong. It's like, well, that nothing, nothing. It's just how I talk here, you know. It's how I talk. And they don't show Freddy a lot. That's important, man. It's important. The dark escape metal patient says he is from Springwood. That's cool. Yeah. I got see, you notice the great directors like that and the great filmmakers and writers, directors, they always they do two things. You can tell they come from the same mind track, the mindset, because a lot of the stuff in all their films will be connected. You know what I mean? Different little things they'll use, they'll change it. Like for instance, Crew. Last house on the left, Freddy Krueger, right? Completely different guy, completely different character, but got some things in common. Uh, and number two, they'll use a lot of the same actors, you know, and the crew. They like to keep that same crew because they like to keep that same vibe, that same formula. They like that flavor. And then and then if they want to get just a little bit different of a flavor, they'll add little somebody different here and there, just to give them that different feel, you know. Uh, you can tell the difference between Wes back in the day when he did Last House and Hills Have Eyes. And you can tell he was a lot more angry of a man. Like I talked about before, people who don't know, he grew up in a very, very strict Christian household, and he wasn't, allowed to do much of anything. So when he got old enough to break free, he became a hippie and, did drugs and that's also on the left, for that time, which absolutely. And there's people trying to get to the control, into the film to destroy the print of it, to destroy the real, so that, the movie could exist. But these little things he does, man, scary as hell. I think he should have been given a little more freedom to do this kind of thing in this. Alone in the Dark's a pretty good one. It's yeah. I don't know why it took us so damn long to put the damn thing on Blu-ray. Now, forget about it. It'll never happen in 4K. Which I don't know. They probably shouldn't. We really need it in 4K. I like the way it looks on that Blu-ray. Glad they finally did it. At least they've done a little bit better. A little bit different original artwork. I wasn't exactly sure with that. But a couple, really good featurette or so would have been cool too. But you You got the video from the Six-Plex. It's on there. The Six-Plex is on there. I do believe. I have it. I haven't picked it up. Did a video on it. Shit, a year ago, over a year ago. But Lin Shay, yeah, she. One of my favorite roles she's in is in a movie. I'm sure Fred. I'm sure you've seen this, Fred. Called Dead End. She is absolutely hilarious in that, man. That movie is just off the wall, batshit crazy. I need to add that to my collection. I do not have that. I need to. Three, 4,000 films up there and don't have that in yet. Crazy. Nick Corey or Zoo Garcia, the one that plays Rod Lane. He's talking about how bad of a drug problem he had when he was making it, around this time in his life. And the reason he used Nick Corey instead of his actual name is because Latino actors weren't exactly getting roles at that time. So, he just said he was Nick Corey, you know what I mean? Maybe it was with the Italian descent, he would get more roles. I don't think that would have mattered to Wes, but of course he didn't know that. So that's the name he was using to get work. He's also in a film, I'm sure Fred's seen it, knows about it. Wildcats, 83 or no, I think Wildcats was made in 84, maybe the same year as this, with Goldie Hawn, and it's also got a very young Wesley Snipes. And of course, Woody Harrelson, young Woody Harrelson's in it too. Well, Woody's still got hair, but it's pretty entertaining. We'll show Wildcats is. Sunday in the snow, referee whistle blow. Weekend warriors toe to toe. Football. Oh, yeah, yeah. I really thought about it. Football. Football. Which is a song, that song on Wildcatcher is done by very young LL Cool J. Goldie. One of the only times you ever see Goldie full frontal nudity, basically. It's when her movies were still the same. But I still thought it was pretty cool. Goldie Hawn was gorgeous, regardless of the size of her bosom. Now, my mom, when she seen this, she liked the movie, but she did not like Heather Langenkamp. She thought Heather Langenkamp was a lousy actor in this first Nightmare. I don't think she was lousy. I mean, you can tell she's young, not really experienced, but I didn't think she did a lousy job at all. It's my mom's opinion. I thought being as young as she was and inexperienced, she did a really good job. What kind of hidden meaning that's supposed to be? She's in the tub there and he's reaching out from between her legs. You know what I mean? I just wonder if that ties in with the final girl virginity thing or whatever. What's your guys' thoughts of that? You get ties in there somehow, subliminally. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I preferred Cheers with Woody as bartender, except instead of the coach. My youngest son, my 15-year-old, he absolutely adores Cheers before and after. But see, I think after, they added so much more to the show later. Like, I was never a big Diane fan, I'm sure. I'm not big into Shelley Long. Um, I preferred the Kirstie Alley character. I prefer Kirstie Alley. Um, I prefer Woody Harrelson as, as the assistant bartender.
And I also love the addition of Fraser and Lil. You know, I mean, I thought all that shit just made the show better. I thought it was better, you know, when those people. There's nothing wrong with the coach. I just Woody just had something. Still does. Woody can do anything. I mean, like for instance, not a really well-known movie, but Out of the Furnace with Christian Bale and Woody. Man, that's a kick-ass show, and Woody plays a great asshole. He just, you know, meth dealing, you know, bare knuckle fighting fucking nut. Woody can play anything, man. He proved that years ago. Like they thought Oliver Stone was fucking crazy when they chose him to play, you know, Mickey Knox. So he's out of his mind to do that, you know. But can you imagine played by anybody else with Woody Harrelson now? You know, Natural Born Killers. Can you imagine anybody else playing the Mickey role? No way. This is around the time I guess they had a thing going here, like showing Evil Dead here, where Sam Raimi and Wes Craven were going back and forth. You know, like for instance, in the cellar, there's a half torn poster of The Hills Have Eyes. You know, in Evil Dead. You know, in this he's showing little scenes for you know what I mean. Like, ain't nothing. Check this out. Just a little bit of friendly competition going on there. It's entertaining. Here's Johnny before he ever did anything weird, before he ever became the iconic actor that he is now, before he ever married a very nuts, crazy woman. I never heard, man. I was surprised to hear she was as nuts as she is. It's dramatic and out of her mind, man. I ain't saying Johnny's innocent. You know, of course he's not. There's always two sides to every story, right? But Jesus, she's just manipulative. I mean, just picture her left and right, hanging out with, you know, Kevin Nash, you know what I mean? Just on and on. You know, shit that nobody even really knew about that much at the time. Just different little shit she was doing, you know, behind his back and just she's behind the back type shit. Yeah, for sure. I heard that she got replaced on the new Aquaman movie. Did she get replaced by by Emily or yeah, Emily from Game of Thrones? I heard she got that's what I was told. I haven't checked into it. I'm getting ready to start a new show we're gonna do off and on here. Me and a friend of mine. I kind of leave it as a surprise. Me and a good friend to most of us on here. We're getting ready to start a weekly or maybe a bi-weekly 30-minute show here soon where it's going to be like horror news and discussion on upcoming films and you know what I mean. It's going to be like a sneak preview thing where you show what's coming up, discuss it, this and that, you know, main topic of the week or whatever, or the month or whatever. So look for that coming up soon also. Okay. Because for a new comment. That's why she reaches back and hollers, Glenn. And he's sitting around the bush, hey, what's up? Oh, just making sure you have some sleep, man. So you know this Fred, where he got his idea of Freddy Krueger to begin with. The whole Krug, you know what I mean? Was you remember him and his brother were up in their room and he looked out and there was a guy down there, like a homeless type guy. He wore a hat. He looked kind of sinister. It kind of creeped him out, so he looked back. And a few minutes later, he looked back this way, and the guy had come away, and he was still standing. He was looking directly up at him with like this sinister smile on his face, man. Shit scared the shit out of me. I don't blame him. It scared me too. That's where he got his idea for Freddy. The look and everything. The dirty tattered hat.
I'm looking forward to doing that. This thing on Freddy. Just, the day Freddy became the night forward to it. Basically, like I said before, it's basically about the day when he, because he, of course, he was married and had family and all this, and he grew up fucked up. He was abused a lot by his dad and this and that. He grew up, he basically turned him into a sociopath, turned him into a deviant, and fantasies about doing stuff to children and all this kind of stuff for years. And then, but this is going to be about the day Freddy decided to go from fantasy to reality, which which his first victim is that little girl, like Tracy is her name, if I remember correctly. The one that you see in like part three, when you see in Dream Warrior at the beginning. Um, she's one on the tricycle, so that's where that comes from. She was his first victim, and that's basically what it's going to be about. Is when he decided to go from fantasy to reality. So it's going to be pre getting caught and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if I can continue it or not. I'll see how that one does. See how well I do at that, and then go. Somebody just looks up at her, just laughing because he knows she can't get any. He knows she can't do anything about it. She can't get anybody's attention. Yeah, Glenn passed out. Yeah, you're on your own. Yeah, this is what the yeah. This is one of the few times in the movie where the effects don't look quite as good here. When he sticks his head in there, he goes, "Nancy, help me, save me from." He's Freddy, and you can tell it was a mask. And then she's stepping up the steps. You can see the spot she was supposed to step in. A little bit of charm to it. I like it. He really pulls the best tricks on Tina. He really or before he kills her. And Nancy, he kill Nancy right now, but he's playing around doing the fingers and she he plays her too much to the point to where she gets strong, which is the key. There is no cure for it. That's the whole thing, Freddy said, no, there is no cure for it. The only thing you can do is just not fear him, and that will keep him at bay, keep him down for a while. That will get him off your ass. Keep him off everybody else, but it will keep him off your ass. If you're not afraid of him, you don't let him scare you. You're not, you get him off your ass. But there is no cure to it. When they burned him up in there, that made him like a curse on the Elm Street kids for fucking ever, probably. So now the original idea was it was going to be direct descendants to the people that burned him up. But as time went on, I think they kind of branched off, and it just whoever lived in that town or on that street or whatever, which that didn't make any sense to me. I liked it better when they kept it the word descendants. You know what I mean? It just made more sense that way. Which is fucked up that it would be that way. You would have to suffer that curse because they tried to do it the legal way, but they fucked up and didn't do the paper. They didn't do the shit right, and then he was set free.
So then, what other choice did they have? To let it keep running around and killing the kids? No. They had to burn his ass up. They had to get rid of him. So it's messed up that now after doing that, when the legal system failed, then they take, vigilante, they take justice into their own hands and they eliminate his ass. And then he comes back as a nightmare you can't do anything about. That's kind of screwed up. So, no, no, he's in uniform here too. John Saxon is. I remember him being in uniform twice. With the guy sleeping, he's not going anywhere. Did anybody say anything about him going anywhere? She wanted to see if he was okay. What the hell are you babbling about? You guys take my word for it. Sleeping like a baby. The guy's not going anywhere. Dumbass. We didn't say a damn thing about it. We know he's not going anywhere. He's locked up in the cell. We know he's not going no place. But we're concerned about him. Not about him leaving. You dickhead. I'm not sure Wes has ever really put cops in a favorable light in any of his movies. I mean, all the way back to Last House on the Left. Oh my God. Beast fuckers were worse than the cops you see in like Smoking a Bandit. Yeah. See? He didn't go anywhere except for up hanging from the top of the fucking cell. I never, of course, I haven't seen many cells. I got arrested once in my life. Believe it or not, one time. One time. I was in jail one time in my life. Many years back. And I've never seen a, of course, it's a small town to where there's bars up there on top too. I mean, it seems like they at least wouldn't do that nowadays, especially not for the fear of suicide, especially for somebody being accused of murder. You wouldn't want to keep them in a cell that has the bars up there, and leave them with sheets to hang themselves with. Must be a real small town too. Greenwood must be a little. I'm not sure about the population of it, but I'm guessing it's probably about the size of the town that I'm living in right now. Something like that, maybe small. This is they never proved that he even did that murder. So for that preacher to sit there and say he lives by the sword shall die by the sword. He hadn't been, you know, he hadn't been convicted of nothing. So don't be saying that at my son's funeral. So you convict him and you prove that he did something. Don't be saying it. Here it is. He's burned. And so she's talking about Freddy. So we get the close up in on both of them. They both know who she's talking about. Yeah. So we tell her that you better keep her at home for 3 days until she gets over the shock of this. And this is when she gets. She goes, I got something better. I'm gonna get her some help. I don't know if she did it on purpose or what, but she and John Saxon's even kind of looking at it like, wow, I'm so sure about that one. Even dreaming. Is there a pill out there to keep you from dreaming? I mean, I don't think anything can keep you from dreaming. Maybe something keep you from remembering your dreams, but I don't think there's anything to keep you from. We always dream. We have to dream. Dreams are like one of the most mysterious things there is. You know, there's no answer to them. You know, they have their theories and this and that, but there's no proof where a dream comes from and why we dream what we dream. This is subconscious. And, well, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll buy that. But certain things you dream, you notice has nothing to do with what's going on in your life at that time or whatever. It's maybe something you haven't consciously thought of in a long ass time. All I know is at this point she ain't been sleeping. No dose in coffee I don't care how much caffeine is not going to do it. Because we still don't know what they are, where they come from. Yeah, I guess it's true. They still, if you ask them today, I bet it'd be the same thing if they was to be honest with you. Is to be honest with you, and not talk all technical and like the, big shit. They would still say they didn't know exactly where things came from. Lots of theories, but no proof. Never, because the brain is the most mysterious thing there is. The brain is that's something we'll never have the answers for. Never. It's impossible. There's no way of knowing exactly what all the brain can do, what it's capable of. You know, Certain things that you shouldn't have answers. Deep space, um, deepest, deepest of the deep parts of the ocean. There's certain things that shouldn't be answered. There should be some mysteries out there, and the human brain is one of them. This is when you watched her put her to bed. You was there already for her. You helped her get in the bed, so she didn't have this hat. So this is when you gotta start kind of, you know, at least give her some sort of credit. She's cut somehow. She obviously didn't do it herself. And she pulls this old hat that, like I said, you was right there. She didn't bring it with her when she first laid down. So this part of the movie where you just going, oh my God, will you please just listen to this girl? But that house became just as important to the franchise as Nancy and Freddy did in a way. So and I don't, no really good satisfiable explanation, as far as I'm concerned. There, of course, but as far as the original story and everything goes, it was just the house that she lived in. Yeah. Like I said, when I first watched it, I first seen it when I was 12. And I watched it with my mom. And the part when she leaves here and she goes runs around the Glen. when she comes back there and all the bars and shit are on the windows and everything, and her mom takes her down to the basement and she shows her the knives. You know, at that point, my mom was kind of, what I mean, because this was the first movie. There hadn't been a part two or anything yet, so you know exactly what was up for sure. My mom was, she was convinced that that her mom had something to do with it. That her mom, played a sinister role in, in these dreams and everything. At that time, that's what she was guessing because she had finger knives, just because she acted so sus. Like, nope, nope, she's just one of the parents that burned him up. And this Glenn role, I think they said that they added to it a little bit because Tony Jeff was, the camera loved him so much, you know, and he did such a good job. I think they added a little bit to him so he could be, a little more part of shit later on. Like during the scene here when they're eating, when he's munching on shit and she's telling him about, self defense and the booby traps and everything. So it's like, no replacement for youth and metabolism. This guy sits there and munches like crazy. Can't get it found. No, I'm still like that. Lost a lot of weight last, you know. Can't seem to put it back on. Body's just tripping out and doing some different shit or what? Yeah, yeah. It's gonna say yeah. Booby trap, like what I mean. It's the theme in the Wes Craven movies. You got the booby traps in Last House on the Left. Where the parents set it up for the for the criminals, the psychopath. And then after the first attack, when the mom and the dad and everybody gets killed and everything, and the sister and or whatever gets killed in Hills Have Eyes, they set up booby traps and everything. You got a lot of them. You got this one. What other crazy booby traps shows? He's got one way or another in a lot of. I don't understand the point in putting these bars on these windows. It's not like she jumps out and you know what I mean. Yeah, she took off and went down to the police department there to check on the rod once, but it's not like she gets out and runs around all the time in the middle of the night. One and number two, ain't nobody been trying to break in and hurt nobody. It's like, why did you put bars on the windows? Yeah, it's the first time you ever hear the story of what happened. That's what she's going to tell her. Timestamp is 57 minutes. 57 minutes, and she's taking her down to the basement to show her the the, the glove and tell her the story. So the child murderer killed at least 20 kids, kids we all knew. It drove us crazy when we didn't know who it was, but it was even worse after they caught him. And she's reaching out, she's going to show the knife. That's that. That's kind of that's twisted how she kept the glove like that. Lawyers got fat, and the judge got famous. Somebody forgot to sign the search warrant in the right place. Krueger was free just like that. They didn't really have a choice. The legal system, like I said, the legal system failed. So, you just let him, because he didn't go anywhere. He just went back to the boiler room, He just went back to the old place, and he was getting ready to do it again. Comes the time. So, yeah, that'd be a hard thing. That would be a hard thing to have to tell your kid. Something that, you know what I mean, that big of a ghost from the past. Be tough. She's trying to help. She's an alcoholic and she drinks too much. She's really dramatic and shit, but you know, she's not a bad mom. Like, serving of an Asian style salad, fish and chips. Cool, man. The whole first part of it, you told sounded really healthy, and the fish and everything, and the chips. I'm assuming are what we call French fries over here. They went straight from the really healthy to the deep fried. And unless you guys bake them in the oven, you guys bake your. I'm assuming like in England, you guys refer to fries as chips, French fries. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. What is up, Steel, man? How have you been, dude? Been waiting to hear from you. It's called fish and chips. Yeah, it's called fish and chips here in the U.S. Yeah, I know. But I'm saying where the chips came from was England. That's what they called their fries, right? Right. Yeah, it's fish and chips, but it's French fries, bro, is what I'm saying. In the oven, so you don't deep fry them. Good idea. It's a lot healthier that way. John, did you get a hold of me and talk to me, man? I'm sure what happened or what's going on or anything, man. But get a hold of me and talk to me, man. Remember, I'm always on your side, brother. You can count on me, man. I'm not your average bear. Message me or send me an email or something back and let me know what's going on. I mean, you know, you don't got to tell me, you know, that's your business, you know, whatever's going on, you know. But just, you know, just talk to me, at least, you know, fill me in on what we're doing and, you know, how you're doing and shit. Then we're gonna do, you know, burial ground and all that kind of stuff. Because now, Glenn's mom, she's really cool, you know, she's really understanding. But the dad, he's just kind of a dickhead, pig looking motherfucker. You just gotta remember these kids are just to sit there and judge somebody and shit and you judge and talk about there's something wrong with the kid across the street. Now, you don't know what the fuck to talk about, dude. Shut the fuck up. Judge motherfuckers. Fuck are you? Little sandwich eating motherfucker. He just throws me all, he bets me all kinds of backwards. The dad, Glenn's dad does. Yeah, I don't think she's bad. She's developed since shit's happened. A lot of things went down. You know what I mean? That we were around for. That you know that nobody else is around for. So it's kind of hard to judge. You know, she likes to drink a little much, but you know, don't make her a bad person or a bad or even a bad mother. You know what I mean? I hate when people equal having an issue or having some kind of a substance problem with being a bad parent because
That it's not necessarily true, and it's bullshit to judge people like that. You know, you don't know what the fuck's going on, and unless you're right there knowing what's going on, you know, you can shut the fuck up. If more people would stop and look in at themselves rather than looking and pointing fingers at everybody else, the world would be a lot better place. Take a look at yourself, talk about yourself before you decide to look and talk about others. You know what I mean? It all starts with you, not with everybody else. Shit. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I'm wanting to do it, man. Whenever Sir Steele is ready, he's got to communicate with me, man. Let me know what you're doing when you want to do it. I've had a few people, yeah. I've had a few people talk about the burial ground. I didn't know that many people, liked it and got into it. So it's kind of cool. Looking forward to getting it in there and doing it. Or if you need, a few weeks or a month or so or something like that. Well, okay, okay. All right, man. Or, I mean, if you need some extra time or just whatever, man, just let me know. Just communicate with me, man. That's all. Let me know what you want to do. Okay, so I got shit. Okay, so I think just Tuesday is open. I got you see Monday. Let's see. Monday, continuing the Romero zombie saga with Night Watch Zone Monday night. And Friday night I'm doing a Carrie discussion show with Eric. So yeah, Tuesday should be good, man. I'll double check after this. I'll check it out and I'll send you an email and let you know for sure. But as far as I know, yeah, as far as I know, sounds good, man. Sounds good. And I hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, burial ground. It's unique, man. It's different, and I think that all by itself, man, is what gets people. That's why people respect it. Because it's just it's got so much other shit in there besides the zombie thing. You got so much other shit going on, man. It's a bag of cats. It's two bags of cats and a fucking kennel of dogs all at the same time. Peter Bark is just absolutely. He's made a whole career. You know what I mean? He's still famous for that. You know. Yeah, that phone thing is just gruesome. The guy knows who Dave McRae is. I guess there's I guess he's played Freddy in a new fan film, and they showed some pictures of him in the makeup. I don't remember who it was. They said did the makeup, but whoever it was did it really good. They got him kind of looking like Freddy does in like Nightmare 2. He kind of looks like that. But that's actually Dave McCrae they showed in that makeup, man. He looks really good in it. And I know he can do the voice, so to see how good the script and all that shit is. But I guess it's like a short fan film. I'm not sure what time frame or when it's supposed to take place, but I'm interested. I hope it's better than McCrae's Black Christmas sequel. I didn't like that. I didn't like that fan film. Black Christmas fan film he made. I didn't like it. It did everything that he said that the original Black Christmas did right. It did everything opposite of that. Like it showed Billy, and at the end it showed who Agnes is supposed to be. And it's like that's what it's the whole thing that you criticize the remake for. So why in the hell in your fan film are you putting? I was just that's just me. I was disappointed. You should never see both. And Agnes, you should never know for sure whether she exists. There's a bed just ate him. It's just, yeah. Yeah, they just did, yeah. Well, they, to the room upside down and, did all that kind of shit. You can just see the way it gives it a really cool effect. The way you see it streaming across because they got the upside down, so actually this floor, so you can kind of see it kind of puzzling across there. So it's really weird. Yeah, it was too bad. Hate to see people like John Saxon and people like that go. I hate to see them die. You know, too bad all the great shit got to get old and pass away and the ones we grew up on and shit. Because in a way, to me, it fucks with me because it shows me my mortality. The people that I was a kid and watching, you know, and they were middle aged or younger or whatever, or dying now. It's like whoa, we're getting to the age where dying is not unusual, and it just lets me know that I don't have that long until that. Not to depress anybody, but it's just little things when when you get older, you start to realize your mortality. You start to realize that you're not Superman. So when you see, who you grew up with, watching on TV and in movies, and you see them getting older and dying of old age or getting older and getting sick and dying, it just makes you. I had had fries fixed in the oven in a long time. I might have to do that. I have to do What kind of Asian salad was it? Was like teriyaki or General Tso or that shit? Spicy or Sichuan or some shit, or was it more along the sweet and fruity and sweet sour side? More vegetables and noodles, more noodles and vegetables. Because you got two different kind of Asian dishes. You know what I mean? You got noodle ones with your noodles and shit, and then you got the ones that's got a lot of vegetables like onions, green peppers, and pea pods and mushrooms, stuff like that. Here she goes to booby traps. He loves the wire across the doorway trick. He loves that trip because that's just something that people don't pay attention to a lot when they're walking through something. You know, cabbage. Oh, cabbage is really good. Man. I love some good cabbage. I love it. Oh man, like a New Year's Day here in America anyway. We do the tradition of the ham and the cooked cabbage. The cabbage is really tasty. It's great fried too. Either way you cook it, it's really good. And I happen to love coleslaw too. That's mainly some cabbage and shit. Um, but there's different kinds of you know I said
I say that kind of thing a lot, but it's true. There's two different kinds of coleslaw. There's the thicker one, thicker real cabbagey tasting one. Then there's the thinner, juicier, kind. It's sweeter, a little sweeter. That's the one I like better. You know, I don't like the real thick coleslaw. Yeah. She really cares about a kid. You know what I mean? She'd do anything for her. She got a drinking problem, but so what? She could be one of these drunks who's gonna take care of her kid. You know what I mean? And fucking hoeing and shit. You know what I mean? She works her job, takes care of her home. Got a nice home. She's like she just got some demons. She likes to have her some drinks. But she takes care of her shit. Can't say she doesn't. She's what you call a functional alcoholic. But a lot of people, especially these days, man, people are so busybody and people are so sensitive about anything and everything. If they seen this woman drinking on a daily basis, man, they'd call CPS on her and everything else. Even though she runs a good home, keeps her job, takes care of her kid, loves her kid, doesn't abuse her, they'd see her drinking every day and they'd call CPS. She drinks every day. But people have this problem these days of, just like I was saying earlier, worrying about everybody else and not thinking about themselves. You know, worrying about what everybody else is doing. Stop thinking about what you're doing a little more. Think about what you might be doing wrong. It's just sitting around pointing about what everybody else is doing wrong. That's my advice for all these sensitive ass people. Is when she decides to turn the tape. The love is going on. Yeah, there she goes through the door. Now she's entering the climax, the end of the third act here. So we are at an hour and 17 minutes. The final showdown here. She hasn't quite realized yet what she needs to do is just, not be afraid to turn her back on him and take away all of his energy. She's one of the few that successfully did that. This first one says a lot of time in that old factory, in that old boiler. That's that that's key too. That's key to the whole ambiance, to the whole atmosphere. Like is that dirty, hot, grimy atmosphere. It just changes it. It was like a shitty place to work.
100 different ways you get hurt daily there. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to doing burial ground. It's something me and Steele been talking about for months. Talking about doing that. Steele, if you're still there, man, what other movies do we talk about? We talked about Last House, but I got impatient and went ahead and did one. I went ahead and did that. Um, but you talked about wanting to do Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat from the early mid '80s. It seemed like there was a couple others too. Shit, we've already done. We need to redo Scanners, man, because that's my favorite, and I was feeling ill and I was fucking dead tired. And just I screwed the pooch on that one. So that was my fault. I so appreciate you carrying that for me, but I just couldn't leave it up, man. I just couldn't. It just, but I want to redo that for sure. But hell, we did an awesome Shining, and we've done Rabbit, we've done great Shivers, Brood. Brood was a really good one. Still coming in with a lot of good shit on that. She's so fucking irritated. She fucking, damn it, where are you? She just screaming for him. Oh, this part here, she just, she's fearless as fuck, man. He pops up here. She knows she don't got time. She got like 5 seconds. She pops up here. She gets this crazy look on her face and just fucking attacks the shit out of him. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for stopping through. Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Down here in the final few minutes of Nightmare on Elm Street. Pretty good. Hey, what's up, Graham? How you doing? All night long. All night, all night long, all night long. People in the street all night long. Lionel Richie. I love Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie was just like cool. It wasn't necessarily my kind of music, but he just was. Lionel Richie was cool. Man, everything's gonna be all right. Everything's under control. Get my tag, you asshole. He's like, oh. And finally, he's like, maybe I should go good. She's busting out windows and shit, and he's just like, ah, here it is. Don't let him kill me too. Yeah, booby trap. This is the sledgehammer to the fucking sternum. He says, you motherfucker. Knife falls over the banister, smash. He, she finally managed to piss him off. And he trips over this shit. Blam! The wooden horse through the window trick. Help me. Here you go, here you go. Maybe I better go get the lieutenant. I don't know, maybe. His daughter's tripping, busting out windows and screaming and shit, saying somebody's after her. Maybe you should go get her dad, aka the lieutenant. Dipshit. She trying to play against her and she's like, hey, like, oh fuck, more fire. Oh man, that's the last thing this where I want some more fire. Like he's he's gonna chase after her on fire. He doesn't even give a shit. He's just gonna come after her that's on fire, slam the door in his face, boom, knock his ass back down. This is the guy that did this stunt was a trooper, man. He's like this whole scene here, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't have I mean he's got protective gear, but you know what I mean, it probably could be better. And he said like he stayed on fire like much longer than what they usually would have at this time. Yeah, there's smoke coming out of the damn house now. Yeah, must have. Yeah, leave it to get your old ass out of the way and let us break it open. I love this. He's down here. He already took off around there. Footsteps in fire. Yep. Goes all the way back around and up the stairs. He's gonna get one of them, but did it. She's too much of a pain in the ass right now, so he wasn't even trying to fuck with her again right this minute. He's just gonna go get them all. Blam! With the old professional wrestling chair across the back trick. Hey, what's going on, man? Say hi. How you doing? I say hello to everybody. Very cool, very cool. Everybody's friend. That's awesome. Yeah, this bed, when you ever notice when she slaps this bed, this mattress on this bed, when she's Mom, she's slapping it, like this bed looks hard as fuck, man. Is it just me? Like, it's, it's like, I don't know. What the hell is she using for a mattress? Mm-hmm. Okay, you go downstairs. I'll be there in a minute. He's all right, sure. I just watched a dude go through the bed on fire on top of your mother and they disappeared. But yeah, you can step here by yourself. Hell of it. Might as well. What else could happen this evening? Because he witnessed that shit too, you know, and he's like, oh, yeah, should be, she'll be all right. Yeah, and here it comes. This when she decided, this when she decided to take away all of his energy. You know you're there, Freddy. I think he's gonna get away from me. No, you too well know, Freddy. No, it's too late, Krueger. Know the secret now. Just a dream. You're not alive. The whole thing is just a dream. Oh, my mother and friends again. You what? Take back every bit of energy I gave. You're nothing. He turns around. Shit. He's like, where are you? Fucking took all his energy, and then there he goes. It's really the only thing you can do with Freddy. Like I said, you know, you're not gonna get rid of him. He's gonna be around, but you can somewhat get him off your ass by doing that shit. Gonna burn off soon. You'd be surprised. This is the only really cringe. The effects here, and this is the part that Craven did not want. Craven did, but Bob Shea, of course, we all know where he did not get along with Robert Shea, producer. You know, basically the man there at the New Line Cinema. Um, he insisted on having, he insisted on having this part. So he figured since he put so much forth and helped out so much with the making of the movie, he would give it to him. So that's how we ended up with the mother pulled through the door scene here at the end, pulled through the window in the door scene. But Craven did not want it. He hated the way it looked. He didn't like it. But Bob Shea wanted it, so he did him that favor, like I said, since he helped out so much and made it possible for the movie to be made. So it was definitely a compromise. There you go. With the red and green striped hood on the convertible. There they go. It's an old, that's a Chevy. That's an old Cadillac. The mother he pulled through the door. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's yeah. Don't look the best, but hey, man, it's just part of the charm of the film now. Ain't gonna stay out late. There it was. There it was. Let me turn on this light here. Show us some of the physical media that I have right now at this point in my life. Oh, camera dust again. Pixeling everything straightened out so I turn on the light. Is everything cool? Start off. Of course, it's the VHS media. VHS. Of course, this is the old first ones that came out. This is the 1 through 4, and then here is the rest of it. This is that I think it's a bit dreamlike. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I wish they would continue that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Film DVD set. Steelbook. Blu-ray. And here's basically the set that we have here in America right now for the movies. Well, these days, I guess we'll get that Screen Factory everybody's been talking about forever and ever. Here, let me take you over here. Here is some of the collection of the NIGHTMARE on Elm Street stuff. Just over here. And then all that. Yeah. So there's that. Basically, I got as far as NIGHTMARE on Elm Street goes. Oh man. Start the film. So much Spanish. Right there. Very cool. Thanks to everybody for coming through with this watch along. Appreciate it. Does anybody got anything we'll talk about real quick here for a couple of minutes here? Still got a couple minutes. Oh. Yeah. Here. Get this over here in a spot that's supposed to go here. Getting ready to do an up-to-date collection room here soon. So. And geez, what, probably a year since I've done a collection room, so and a lot of shit's changed. So thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. I'm going to do a full room. Right? It goes all the way around. It goes on into that room, all kinds of stuff. So I'm looking to put one out soon. I appreciate it. Hopefully everybody will like it when I do that. That's it on top of a lot of things I got going on. A couple of new shows coming out. So much new shit going on. Having lots of fun over here on the Garfield channel. Probably having the best time that I've ever had. So just kind of wanted to show off the physical media to Nightmares. We just did the watch along and show off some of the figures and shit that I got. So I will catch you guys next time. Monday night. We'll be on here at 11:15. It will be me and Knight from the Night Watch Zone. We'll be doing Land of the Dead, continuing our Romero zombie saga. We hadn't done one. We did Day of the Dead a couple months back, so now we're getting ready to do Land. Tuesday night, I do believe we are going to be doing a Burial Ground from 1980, zombie film Burial Ground. Very cool. Yes, the one with Peter Bart. And then this coming Friday, I will be with Eric from Internet. Eric here. We'll be discussing and talking about and diving deep into what I did. I watched along a few days back. Stephen King / Brian De Palma's 1976 classic Carrie. And then beyond that, the week after that, we got some Christmas watch-alongs and all this kind of stuff. Like I said, I got a collection room coming out. I've got the Freddy video coming out the day Freddy became the Nightmare. I also got my the what if Laurie hadn't survived Halloween 1978 part 1 called It Was the Boogeyman. It's my new storytelling series that I'm going to be doing. It's going to be a 3-parter. So hopefully everybody joins for that too. Lots of shit, man. There's 2 or 3 other things too. Fan can't think of it. So let's see. Land is awesome. Can't wait. I left it early to go see it opening day in cinema. Cool. Sounds cool. Yeah. Hopefully. So everybody join me, and I'll be back here at 11:15 Monday night for sure. So I will catch you guys then. Thank you very much for coming through. Everybody that stopped through, everybody checking it out in the rewatch. Always much appreciated. Much love from me to y'all. Don't forget that I am Gorphobe and you guys are not. Have a great morning.